Hello again everyone, welcome back to DIY, The Art of Wood. I'm Jeremy. Finished painting the ceiling last night, 2 coats of a flat white ceiling paint, and wow, what a difference that made. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that on camera, but here in person, it's a pretty dramatic difference. As I mentioned, I stopped right here, just beyond where the camera is, and I'll turn it around so we can take a closer look at that. But there's a line right here, and you can see on the part that we painted, it's nice and flat. It's white, it's even, there's no brush strokes or roller marks. And then right where I stopped, beyond that, from the previous paint job, it's kind of this, I don't know, kind of a yellow, dingy kind of paint. They just did a really bad job. There's brush strokes, there's roller marks everywhere on the previous paint job. And it's just a very dramatic difference. I'm glad we took that extra step and the extra time to paint the ceiling and do 2 coats. So I'm going to spin this camera around here and see if I can show you the difference here. Get these lights aimed a little bit better so you can kind of see that line right there, where you got this bright white on this side and this kind of, I don't know, a dingy yellow kind of nasty looking ceiling paint. It'll definitely brighten the room up. Bring it back down here. It will definitely brighten this room up, and I'm really glad we chose to do it. It was a little extra expense, a little extra time, a little extra prep work, but definitely worth the extra effort. Okay, so before I begin the next stage of the project, which is going to be painting these walls behind me here, I do need to do some prep work there, and definitely stay tuned because I'll be giving you some pro tips along the way so you can get professional results on your paint job. I want to talk a little bit more about why we decided to just paint part of the ceiling and not the entire ceiling. So these 2 rooms are joined. We've got the family room here and the kitchen, which is where I'm standing in. And the kitchen is going to be its own separate remodel project. And we just had to basically move everything that was in the family room into the kitchen. And so we chose just to stop here right about where the kitchen starts and tackle the kitchen project as its own complete project. I will paint that ceiling in the kitchen as well. I'll just use the exact same paint and be able to blend that line and make it disappear so it won't be an issue. It just made a little bit more sense to us to treat this as 2 separate remodel projects instead of trying to kind of mix and match and blend them in together. And I want to point out a few additional things here and explain why we're doing things the way we're doing them. And you may have noticed when I showed you that paint line on the ceiling that, oh my gosh, there's paint all over the walls. There's paint on the wall, red wall there's paint on the blue wall here. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because we're going to be painting these walls anyway. And taking that additional time to tape off the walls to keep the white paint from the ceiling to get on the walls, it wouldn't have yielded any positive results because we're going to be repainting those walls anyway. It would have been a waste of time and a waste of material too to meticulously tape off those, those walls there. So don't worry about that. And if you're doing a remodeling project or a painting project like that, keep that in mind. I mentioned earlier, kind of plan it out. Okay, what are you going to do first? And then work your way down so that you're not repeating processes, you're not doing extra work that's not going to yield any results. And so today, the next step is painting these walls here. I'll kind of aim the camera around, so it's going to be this wall and part of this wall that's kind of behind me you can't really see in this shot, but the back wall with the window and kind of half of this wall here, that's where we're going to be doing that feature wall. So I'm not going to be painting those. I'm saving myself a lot of time here, at least on the painting portion of this project. And so I do have a little bit of additional prep work to do on the walls before I paint them. So follow along. I'll be explaining what I'm doing while I'm doing them so that you can get professional painting results on your own projects as well. And let's get started.